We all remember the classic Disney characters. Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Mickey Donald, and Sephiroth. But which character was everyone's favorite? That's right, Goof Troop. Goof Troop originally starred in the Disney cartoon shorts called Goof Troop's Big Funny Vacation, where he did all sorts of crazy antics and fell down a ton. Goof Troop's antics were a classic hit in the culture of the 80s and 90s. Even Hollywood pedophile Chevy Chase was inspired by them. It's rumored that the Goofy shorts were what caused Chevy Chase to get addicted to painkillers and fall down so much. He would run to the TV during Disney afternoon. He would take his painkillers so he could laugh at the show and have a bunch of fun. And then he would run into the living room and trip and fall and he'd hurt himself. Did you know that after the classic Disney pranks, that Goof Troop went on to inspire tons of spin-off media? From board games to collectible toys, Goofy Troop was a sensation. He even had his own cartoon series. That's right, it was called Goof Troop, named after the titular character himself. The show stars Goof Troop and his son, Goof Troop Jr., which is proof that Goof Troop fucks. This relatively unknown hidden gem with only 78 episodes, 2 feature-length films, and a Christmas special will only be remembered by 90 kids.
Max, look! It's the Leaning Tower of Come.
The lighthearted, family-oriented comedy depicts a single father raising his son the best he can, with episodes often centered around bonding with his son and making sure he doesn't turn gay. The movies were also great and had many scenes in them. There was even a cool BuzzFeed article about how Max is hot on Instagram now. Wow, Max is hot now. I'm gonna fuck Max. How about you? You know, can I just say, adult Disney fans in general creep me the fuck out. Like, we all know one person who's like this. The weird fucker in your social circle or at your job who collects a bunch of stupid Disney memorabilia and loves all the sing-alongs and watches all the Disney cartoons, and they make a special point of using all their paid vacation time to make yearly visits to Disney World or Disneyland or some horse shit like that. Wow, yeah. I worked all this extra overtime so that I can spend $15 on a Mickey Mouse shaped Rice Krispie at Disney World, where I ride really boring rides that at their best are like 10 times as shitty as the worst rides at Six Flags. I love eating Mickey Mouse shaped bread bowl clam chowder. The Disneyologists and food scientists at Disney brand theme parks have determined that food just simply tastes better when you eat it from a Mickey Mouse shaped receptacle, or when it's eaten in the form of a Mickey Mouse shaped object. I'm mentally 5 years old and I want to put things in my mouth like an infant and eat chicken nuggets shaped like cartoon characters I enjoy. I don't know, my working theory is that maybe Mickey Mouse is like an inverse portrait of Dorian Gray for those people. They get older and grosser and stupider looking, and Mickey stays the same for them. It's like, get a fucking life, you know? Like video games, now there's a hobby. You know, all this cartoon bullcrap doesn't sound like it would be good for a video game series, but actually Goofy was responsible for inspiring one of the most well-known video game franchises of all time. Did you know that Shinji Mikami of Resident Evil fame, along with Capcom, actually made a game based on Goof Troop? We've all heard the story about Shinji Mikami's childhood that inspired the creation of this game. Shinji Mikami got, something happened as a kid, and Goof Troop for the Super SNES Entertainment System by Nintendo. So this is Goof Troop, and one thing you'll notice right away about this is that it is a real-time co-op game, which is always a valuable feature in a game. Even if the game's not that great, if there's one thing that we've learned as gamers, even playing mediocre bullshit with someone else makes it more enjoyable. Retro game co-op is great because it's what I call a friendship ruiner. You could call it a friendship test. I like to call it a friendship ruiner because it's a great litmus test for the strength of your friendships, because you can really test the limits of how much you can abuse people and push them around and treat them horribly and then still come out as friends at the end. And there's lots of co-op games that are like this. You've got Secret of Mana, where the camera's always getting stuck because someone's getting left behind. You've got Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, where you're picking up your friend and jumping into hazards or throwing him into spikes. You got zombies ate my neighbors, you know, your friend's getting murdered by the chainsaw guy in the bushes, you're trying to scroll the screen, he's fucking up everything. You know, you're screaming at each other. You've got Contra, scrolling your friend to the back of the screen so he's getting spawn killed instantly. These are great friendship tests, and the good thing about that is you can torment retards with it. You know, these co-op experiences are valuable. Everything is better with a friend. That's why guys charge their crystals together. Goof Troop is a top-down, real-time action adventure, open-world, procedurally generated, roguelike, kind of MMO, roguelite, Souls-like. No, I'm just kidding. It's a top-down, real-time action adventure / puzzle game. It's 1 or 2 simultaneous players, and the basic gameplay consists of using your pick-up and throw ability to hit your co-op partner with throwable objects and annoy him, as well as hit enemies and switches to progress through the levels. Goof Troop's got a bunch of fucking items. You got a shovel for digging up a bunch of nothing. You got keys, they're fucking boring, they open doors. You got a candle, ooh, it lets you see in the dark. There's a bell, you can ring it, look like an asshole, doesn't really do much. There's this other key, I guess it opens something. There's a board, I think vegans can eat this. And the hook shot, well, the pizza guy knows what that's for.
Alright! Hey, suck my dick!
I felt a little guilty at the thought of playing as Goofy while also forcing Max to carry all the keys. Goofy already has stronger attacks, so taking away Max's fun toys and forcing him to mule keys for me would just be a dick move. Besides, if Max is going to mule anything for Goofy, it's going to be black tar heroin in his ass from across the Mexican border. You play through each stage, killing enemies and solving puzzles as you go. These puzzles are sort of similar to Sokoban, except the boxes slide. They're decently challenging in single player as far as what order you have to kick them in, but they're simplified to be like brain dead easy in 2-player mode for some reason, which I think is actually kind of a shitty point about the game. Having more challenging puzzles in 2-player mode would have been really nice for causing fights amongst friends or possibly even domestic incidents with couples. This game is playable single player. The way that it works is player 1 just gets 2 item slots, and some of the puzzles are changed around to be a little more logic heavy and a little less co-op friendly. Long story short, the game is actually scaled to be easier on 2-player mode. That being said, there are difficulties of playing 2-player. You have a tendency to throw shit at each other a lot, not just on accident. Obviously, you're constantly tempted to brain your partner with objects. It's just plain fun to abuse them. The game encourages it practically. At the end of each level is a unique boss for you to face, which, again, the only real challenge of most of these in 2-player mode is not repeatedly fucking over your partner by throwing a bomb in their face, or cock-blocking their projectile on its way to the boss themselves. In order, the bosses are the Funny Gang, Buffalo Burnout, Mario and Sonic, Yucky Worms, and Enlarged Man. You know, in general, I'm a big fan of puzzle games. I like logic puzzles, Sokoban type stuff. Anything where you're pushing crap around, you know, autistically stacking things in a row, you got me, I'm locked in. But I take issue with something a little problematic that the Angry Video Game Nerd said before. Let's watch this clip.
Who was the target audience? Little girls or puzzle-solving fanatics?
Now, did you see what he said there? He said girls can't play puzzle games because they're too stupid. He said you have to choose between either being a little girl or a puzzle-solving fanatic. Now, I find this extremely problematic. Are we supposed to think that puzzle games aren't for girls? Well, no, actually, I mean, girls are too stupid for puzzles, so it's not, I mean, whatever. It's not really a big deal then. Ba-doo-ba-da-bop-bop-a-doo-bop. Yes, Goof Troop sure was a whole lot of fun, wasn't it, guys? I loved all the puzzles, I loved solving all the fun. This game is short, it's only 5 stages long, so it's a pretty good game to play with a friend casually. So grab a buddy, a controller, and a broken bottle to stab your friend with after he insults your intelligence for the 100th time for kicking the blocks wrong. I think we can all agree that Goof Troop was definitely one of the games ever made. And thank you for remembering of it with me. Stay tuned for part 2, where we check out all the great sequels to Goof Troop. Like always, thanks to everyone who sat through this shit. If you liked it, leave a comment. If you hated it, leave a death threat. And special thanks to all the Patreon pals. You know who you are, and you know what you did. And hey, let me know in the comments what you guys think about hot Instagram Max. Anybody else want to fuck him?